Nu guam clapala seguila glumaquigila, gaia clonimgais glumuscamadariana glutachis. We've been on a historical journey, and I think if you put literacy out there, when I started 37 years ago, it really did pertain a lot to English and how we learned the language. And I think over the 37 years, certainly in the last 5 years, I've seen it shift more because we have different perspectives on literacy. And literacy for us is not just about writing. As a First Nations person who grew up in Alert Bay, there's a lot of different literacies that we function in. And I realized that as I left there and came to a city, we see literacies in a different way, that you have strengths and knowledge in so many areas. So I think in the last few years I've worked really hard with the different courses that have been developed to look at things like oral literacy through storytelling. For example, and different areas about where we bring the art through literacy, and what's your knowledge when a carver picks up a piece of wood or a piece of stone and starts to shape in his mind what he can carve and what the stone is telling him. Everything we did was linked, and it was actually linked through stories. So I think that piece of saying to teachers, well, how do you do that? How do you teach through story? How do you hit all of those different angles by being able to relate and giving of yourself? And that's how learning takes place, and then you start to develop the other literacies through your own story and recognizing that piece of everybody has a story to tell. The land has a story and the earth has a story. And so when you get students out of the classroom and they're walking along the beach, or they're walking up on the mountain, or they're walking in the forest, the whole thing, again, it's about having that environmental literacy and story that comes from the plants and the trees. And that's again another form of literacy, and everything we do has to start from self. So I think there's a piece for teachers where they have to go within themselves. And I know Robert Considine did a lot of work with the Maori in Australia and did some work around the inside circle and the outside circle, but it's always about know thyself. As Dr. Lee Brown said, you cannot change an attitude without an emotional experience, and that starts with self. We continue to work at bringing authentic voice as often as we can into various teachers' classrooms. And the goal is that they will hear the stories, feel the movement, and hopefully feel comfortable enough to be able to start practicing that themselves in a classroom. Because creating those opportunities, whether it's through the Aboriginal Learning Series we have in our district, or bringing them out on the land, or having people come into the classroom, starts to work with them around their personal experience. And to take a risk to teach the content, because it can be nerve-wracking, but if we can offer opportunities for the teachers to become the teachers. The resources are amazing. What we have out there now is, and with all the digital materials we have and the internet, we can still get authentic voice through those means as well. We purchase a number of books, and then what we do is we do hot picks and we send them out to schools, and then we have people purchasing them through the library. Like, for example, the new one on residential school, Larry Loy made. I see the shift where we're looking at how do we do that in a context of public education.